Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be continuing part 2 of this video series doing Crafter Square the teddy bear. For my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in, and for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. So today, you guys, I am continuing with this teddy bear. This is a video series that is a redo from my previous, but this is now meant for lefties. If you would like to see the righty video, go check it out in my crochet playlist that I'll leave at the end of this video. But basically there are like 5 to 6 characters for this Crafter Square crochet kit. And it comes with everything you need to make the character because this is a redo, and this one specifically was texted to me from a friend that I don't have any of this stuff. This was actually taken from another kit that I bought from the Dollar Tree. So I get to, you don't even have to stick with the colors if you're doing a redo, because obviously you use that yarn already. You could always make black bears, white bears, pink bears, blue bears, any kind of bears, and they can have their own different color shirt. So yesterday we did the leg and the arm, and off camera we are going to be doing the second pair to this, and then today's video we're going to be doing the rest of the body parts, and then in part 3 we're going to assemble. So you guys, if you need to slow down or speed up the video, click on that gear on the corner of your video screen, and there's playback options for you to either slow down or speed up the video. If my instructions are better visualized than heard, you can always lower the volume on your phone. Or however you're watching it, computer, TV. I always forget there's more than just phones out there. But yeah, so let's continue on with the crocheted head. So I'm going to be using my different color marker and the needle to mark off each row, and I'm going to be using brown yarn that I have here. So because I showed this in video 1, I am going to be showing this again in the beginning of this video, but to start off all these parts you have to make the magic loop. And if you go back to the other side of the instructions, instructions 1 through 9 tell you how to get some single crochet stitches and how to create the magic loop. And 10 through 14 are how you close it off and start a next row. But I'm going to break these down for you the first time in this video. So whip out this set of instructions if you have it, and if you don't, just follow along with what I'm doing. But again, for lefties, since I am a lefty, but honestly I feel like I do righty more when I knit or crochet, so it does feel a little awkward. What you're going to want to do is take the end of your yarn here, and we're going to be wrapping this around your finger twice. But you want it enough to where you have a little bit of excess yarn here to wrap over your finger. Enough for you to take your middle finger and pinch it down. So now you have these 3 pieces. You can situate them how you like them. Give them a little bit of distance so you can see what you're doing. You know, make it tight but not too tight, because what we have to do is grab this hook, and we're going to just push this through under 3 of these pieces like that, and then I'm going to drag it back, but I'm going to drag this piece and pull it under these 2. So go ahead and do that now. And then what we're going to do next is we have to yarn over, and then we're going to pull this piece through this loop That's called a chain when you just do, you know, one pull through the loop and then you're done like this. That's a chain. But it also closes the magic loop. So now we can remove this off your finger and we can start doing single crochet stitches into this magic loop. So I'm just going to grab more yarn, and what we're going to do is, now that we've sealed this, we have to make the height of the row. So how we do that is we do one chain, so yarn over and pull that through the loop. That's one chain. And now we're going to do the single crochet stitch, and how you do that is you put your hook into the magic loop, yarn over, pull that through the loops, then you're going to yarn over and pull that through 2 loops. So we have our first single crochet stitch here, and then we're going to check the instructions to see how many we have to do for this. So I'm just going to increase this, and it says for the crocheted head we have to do 6 stitches in round 1. So since we already created 1, we have to do 5 more of these. So once again, I'm going to walk this through for the first crochet stitch that we're going to do, and then we'll do the rest. Okay, so again, stick your hook into the magic loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, single crochet stitch. So now we have 2 on there. We have to do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now that we have 6 stitches on here, we have to close this magic loop. And how you do that is, I'm going to take this end piece here and I'm going to start pulling it out. I'm going to take a look at what starts moving, this front loop or this back loop. So go ahead and pull this end piece. You can kind of hold the stitches down so that'll help you pull this easier. So as I'm pulling, I see that the back loop is going. So what we're going to do, because we want to make this one go in as well, I'm going to take the back loop and I'm going to pull out from this side. So hold on to those stitches and start pulling, and you'll see the front loop start disappearing. Just gently keep pulling it. Until that front loop disappears. You see it's getting smaller. Just keep watching it as you're pulling. You don't want to pull it too much to where you break something. But you see how this hole is getting skinnier? Okay, so once you pull it to where that front loop is now gone, we can take the end of this magic loop piece and start pulling that, and the back loop will now follow. And you want to keep pulling till it disappears like the front loop did, and then there you have your magic loop. So all we have to do now is seal it. And how to do that is step number 11. So all we're going to do is count back 6 stitches from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to stick the hook into this 6th stitch, and then we're going to yarn over and pull it through everything, and you closed off your round. And so it's now, see, it's a nice finish round. So that's the end of round 1, and we can move on to round 2. Okay. So for round 2, we have to do the 6 stitches plus 6 more, which means each stitch is going to have an increase stitch. Those are listed here, you guys, on top of this instructions. Let me show this a little bit. So it's steps to do the increasing stitch here, and then steps to do the decreasing stitch. I will show you how to do them so that it's clearer for you. Okay, but first what we have to do, oh, let me show it here. So as I mentioned in video 1, next to these stitches there's little pictures, and I found out many characters later that this is a legend. So anytime you see an X with a caret covering like a house roof, that's a decreasing stitch. And then whenever you see an X with an arrow pointing down, that's an increasing stitch. And just to let you know, if you go on to the other side of the sheet, there's these 2 stitches that you can do, the chain stitch and the single crochet stitch. They have their own little icon as well, so that's why there's an X with a down arrow for the increasing. It's because you're doing a single crochet and you're increasing it. The circles, I don't know, I can't even see them in the instructions because the color is red. And it's funny because I guess they realized you can't really see things because in other characters they don't color the circle anymore, it's all white. But yeah, you can't really see everything too clearly, and it's so tiny, and depending on how you read it, I mean, you know, here's the X with the down, which means it's an increasing, so other people might read it this way, where it's the X and the roof over the X. So, but since we know that these are increasing, well, we know that we're going to have to increase on each stitch. So before we do that too, you guys, I have my marker here, and we know that I always forget to mark, and don't worry, some of you are gonna forget too, and it's gonna be the most annoying thing because these markers really help you out, especially if you stop your project and come back later and then you forget where you are. So we're basically just marking the last stitch we made. So what you're going to do is put the needle through front and back loops, and then we're going to pull one end all the way through, and this is going to mark our last stitch. That way, I mean, honestly, I don't really count how many stitches I do until I do a slip stitch. So this actually tells you where your last stitch was. So even if you're not a person that counts, if you're just curious where you are in your project, at least you know that this is the last stitch. So, okay. So let's do round 2. Let me show you how to do an increasing stitch. Very easy. So first we have to, for every row that we do single crochet stitches, we have to create the height for it. So we're going to chain 1 like we did in the beginning. So this ends up being the height of the row. Then we're going to go into the next stitch and we're going to do a single crochet stitch. And then because it's increasing, you have to put it back into that same stitch and then do another single crochet stitch. So now we have 2 in 1 stitch. And that's basically all it is. An increasing stitch is increasing by 1 more. So in each stitch you'll have 2. And we're going to do this for each stitch so that we can have 12 stitches in total. So go ahead and do that 5 more times. I'm going to remove my marker because this is the last stitch that we have to do. Okay, so now we have to count back 12 stitches. So count that back from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You want to stick your hook into the 12th stitch, yarn over and pull through all loops. That's a slip stitch, and we have our round 2 completed. So I'm just going to take the marker again and we're going to mark off our last stitch. That time I didn't forget. Front and back loops. Pull one side through. Okay, so now we can do round 3. Round 3 is we have our 12 stitches plus 6 more. Okay, so we're going to have a total of 18 stitches. So this was round 2, this is round 3. Let's find out where they want you to increase. The first stitch you increase, second, third stitch you increase, fourth, fifth stitch you increase, sixth, seventh. So it looks like every other one. Yeah. So let's do every other stitch. We're going to do an increasing stitch. So let's first make the height of the row. Chain 1. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch first. So into the next stitch, let's do a single crochet stitch and then stick it back into that same stitch and do another one. All right. And then the next one is going to be a single crochet stitch. And then the next one is going to be an increasing stitch. And the next one a single crochet stitch, and so on so forth. Do this till the end and you should have 18 stitches. Getting some more yarn. Yikes. Let's remove the marker for our last one, which is a single crochet stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to count back 18. I just hit the camera, sorry. Count back 18 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yarn over, pull through all loops. Then we're going to mark it off. and then we can do round 4. So here we have, leave a comment below, you guys. Let me know if you know a way to lock your screen on the Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy, because every time I touch it, I'm hitting the screen and it slides it around. All right, round 4. We have our 18 stitches, and then we're going to increase it by 6. Ooh, we're getting bigger. Okay, so let's see where they want us to increase our stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. So first one increase, second and third are single crochet stitches, fourth we increase, fifth and sixth we single crochet stitch, seventh we increase. So it looks like increase stitch, 2 single crochet stitches, and then an increase stitch. We're going to do that throughout the whole ring, and I'll walk you through it so that you get the hang of what they're trying to ask you here. Okay, so now I'm going to do the height again. So we're going to chain 1, and then we're going to increase the first stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do 2 single crochet stitches in 2 stitches. So in the next stitch, single crochet, in the next stitch, single crochet, and then the next stitch we'll do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. So you guys, in between the increasing stitch there are 2 single crochet stitches. So let's copy that. Let me walk you through one more time so you can get, we just did an increasing stitch. Let's do a single crochet stitch, single crochet stitch in the next stitch, and then an increasing stitch. So you can rewind this if you need to, but I'm going to move forward doing that exact pattern. Okay, and then I'm going to remove this marker because we're near the tail end. We're doing 2 single crochet stitches left, so here's the 1, and then into the last stitch we're going to do another single crochet stitch. So now we can count back, and we're supposed to have 24. So from the hook, let's count backwards. 1, 2, well, not count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oops. Okay. Yarn over and slip through all loops. So now we're going to do row 5 through 8. Rows 5 through 8 are going to be 24 stitches, so it's basically all the stitches we have. We don't have to increase, we don't have to decrease, and that's pretty easy to do. So before we do that, we're going to mark our round, and the only difficult thing here will be keeping track of how many rounds you do. So be sure that, so you know what, if you've seen my holiday crochet kits, they actually gave you safety pins in those, so maybe if you have a safety pin lying around, you can use that instead of the yarn, but those are sharp, so be careful. If you get the knitting or crocheting safety pins, they're made of plastic, and those are obviously not as, you know, it's still sharp. This is the needle, but it's pretty much the same kind of idea. It's a little point at the end, so it is kind of sharp, but not as sharp as metal. And then, you know, if I had one with me, I'd show you, but yeah, you just slip it through the front and back loops, and you close the safety pin, and you can have a number of those so that you can leave them and count how many rows you did. But hopefully I'll be able to keep up with my counting, not forget where I am at. I'm the worst when it comes with that stuff, and I was spoiled with those holiday kits. They had those safety pins. Okay, so let's do the 5th row. We've got to make the height of the row, and then each stitch is going to get a single crochet stitch, and it's that easy of a row. I like it when it's the same number, no increasing, no decreasing, because you can stay with your flow. Sometimes you're on a roll and you're just punching out these stitches so fast, and they're all nice and even, and it's because you're doing the same stitch over and over again. I'm going to remove this marker, do the last stitch. Okay, then I'm going to count back 24. So you see this thing is curling in, and it's nice and pretty. Meanwhile, this side is a little not so pretty. You want to flip that inside out. This is the side that's going to show out, and because we know this is the head, you want it to curve outward so that pretty side shows through. But from the hook, let's count 24 stitches and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. Stick your hook into the 24th stitch. Yarn over, pull through all loops. We got round 5 done. gonna marker it. And you know, if you say it out loud too, that might help. Sometimes I do that. You know, I actually do some boxing and I'll call out my number punches so that I know which punches I'm doing sometimes, because those combinations are difficult to remember without saying them, at least for me. But anyway, I marked off the last stitch. We're going to chain up to do round 6. Let me just grab some yarn here. Okay, 24 stitches. Gonna remove the marker, do the last stitch, then I'm going to count 24 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Do a slip stitch. And we're going to mark this off. And then we're going to do round 7. Okay. Alright, so 2 more rounds of this. Let me just feed my cat and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to continue now with round 7. Like we always... Hold on. Okay. So I'm just going to chain 1 to make that height. And then I'm going to do 24 single crochet stitches. remove the marker. And then I'm going to count back 24 stitches, and we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. I'm going to mark it off. Then we're going to do the 8th round. It's the last one for this 24 stitches. Just grabbing some yarn here. And I like to grab a lot of yarn because I hate having to keep grabbing it, you know? Okay. So I'm going to do the chain to make the height. And I'm going to do 24 single crochet stitches. And I'm going to count back 24 and do a slip stitch. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Okay. I'm going to mark off the last stitch. And then we can move on to row 9. Okay. So in row 9 now, it is telling us that we have 24 stitches and we're gonna subtract 12, which means it's probably going to be every stitch we have to do the decreasing stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, that's 9, actually. Okay. So each stitch on the 9th row is the X with the roof over it. So yeah, every stitch is going to be a decreasing stitch. So this is the first time in this video and this series that we are going to be doing a decreasing stitch. So I will show you how to do that. So what we're going to do, we're going to build the height of the round like we do in every round, and then the decreasing stitch. So what it is you stick your hook into the next stitch, you yarn over, you pull up a loop, and then you're going to stick the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and we have our first decreasing stitch. So we basically took 2 stitches to make 1, and that's how you're going to end up with 12. So let me show you that one more time. Into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops, and we did again 2 stitches into 1. So let's continue this for the rest of the round, and we should have 12 single crochet stitches, or at least 12 stitches. Okay, decreasing stitch, I just hit my phone real bad. Again, comment below if you know how to lock your screen, so when you hit it, you don't really mess with the screen. Okay, we're going to do the last decreasing stitch, so I'm just going to remove this already, since I know I'm going to be using the 2 stitches here. Alright, so now I'm going to count this back, and I'm going to do a slip stitch on the 12th stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Slip stitch. So we just did the 9th row. Now we're going to decrease again, right? I'm learning my lesson this time, because they have you stuff it after you complete the pieces. Not this time, my friends. If you have the kit, you're going to have stuffing, but in my case, I have my stuffing here, so I'm just going to use it. Alright, pardon me for a minute. Alright, because I don't know what I got this for like a jacket or something, and it's one of those folded ones. The ones in the kit is nice and fluffy. You can use those. I do have a lot extra from my holiday kit, but I don't want to use that. So I'm just gonna cut myself a piece here, and I'm gonna stuff the head while I'm here. So let me just cut this. You're not gonna see, it's so big. It's really, it's about, you know, 2.5 inches long. I mean 2.5 feet long, sorry, inches. So I can't fit it in frame anyway, but all I'm doing is I'm cutting a strip of it off. Maybe you can hear it. So I got my strip off, and I'm going to be using this to stuff the head a little bit. I'm just going to fill it a little bit so that filling the rest of it later isn't going to be so tedious. So it's kind of like a touch and feel, just, you know, or you can wait till later, but I will tell you, it does get a little difficult. So I'm just going to stuff my little strip here. That way, as it closes in, I don't have to keep filling a lot into a tiny hole, just a little bit. And you know what? I probably don't even have to put any more because this is too much. It's just enough, actually. So, but if you guys are using the beads, you want to place the beads first. So, I know this is later, but trust me, you guys, trying to fit your stuffing into a small hole, that's going to be a complete nightmare. So if you complete this, or are about ready to complete this, and you want to stuff in advance so you're not having such a headache later, if you're using the beads, before you stuff, you want to place your beads already in there. The cool thing about the holiday kit is that it tells you what row to put it on. This, it just tells you crochet the arms and legs by following the stitches in steps 1 and step 2. Crochet the body, continue crocheting. Crochet the body and continue crocheting the head. Well, that's the other way around, because this is round 10, this is round 1. They tell you to do the body and then do the head. Anyway, seeing this, why their instructions suck. Crocheting the head using step 3 and step 4, and then, okay, insert the plastic eyes to the head before stuffing. So yeah, once you completed this head, or just about ready to complete the head, put the eyes in first, get a feel for it. You'll be able to kind of gauge it by the picture in the front here. So have an idea of what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, after you place your eyes, I'm gonna sew mine on later, so I don't have to worry about that. But now we can move on to round 10. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I'm going to grab some yarn. And you guys, to be honest, I think you should just sew the eyes on. Not only will it be safer not using the tiny pieces, But then you can create your own size eyes. You can put them wherever you would like. It's not gonna poke you later. Okay, so in round 10, we have to do, well, we're gonna have 12 stitches like we do now, and then we have to decrease each one, and we're gonna have 6. So, chain 1, like we always do. And then I'm going to do a decreasing stitch. Oh, and I didn't even mark it. Oh, man. Failing. Okay, so let's mark it before anything, because, like I said, you don't want to not mark it, get lost, and then, you know, then you have to figure out where you are. If you're an advanced crocheter, you could probably figure it out. But if you're a beginner, it's so easy to get lost in your stitches. I mean, I get lost in my stitches, so, and I've been doing this for years. Right, kind of wind this one yarn around my finger. Okay. So we're going to do a decreasing stitch in each stitch like we did last time. So into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And we're going to continue this all the way around. And if you do have stuffing in there already, try to avoid it. You don't want to like pull that stuffing through the stitch and then you can see it like I'm doing. Because I definitely overfilled and I didn't feel like cutting it back, but only because I like a firm doll, stuffed doll. So, and it all depends on your liking. Although if you have the kit and no extra stuffing, you might run out. And for sure, I remember when I did the righties videos, I wish that there was more stuffing sometimes, because I felt that the stuffed characters were a little too squishy, or just not filled enough. Okay, and since we're the last 2 stitches, I'm going to remove the marker. One, 2. Okay. So there we have our 6 stitches. I'm going to count back 6 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See, and this is the size, and I've been being very loose with my stitches. If you do have the kits, like I said in the first video, beware, because there might not be enough yarn for you to finish your project if you are too loose with your stitches, or if you use a large crochet needle. That's why they provide you with this skinny one. But yeah, I'm going to show you how big that hole is. So if you were to try to stuff it with all this stuffing, then it would be really difficult. See, look how tiny this hole is, you guys. And we're making the neck, so it says keep on crocheting the body. So we're not going to do a magic loop, we're just going to go straight onto this bigger circle here. So here we have round 10, here is round 11. That's one way you know if you're going to be crocheting into the next body part. So for round 11, we have 6 with an increase of 3, so we're going to have 9 stitches. And I wonder if I can just put this on the other side, because I keep hitting it with my hand. I mean, I know I have 2, so I might actually hit it with the other one now. But let me try something, because I'm kind of desperate here. Okay, so wow, I hope I don't. Okay, so we actually have to switch to yellow, because we did the head, and you see there's yellow here, and we always start in the center. Each time we had started at the center. Okay, so now this one, this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that was row 10. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it. See, it's so tiny. It says round 10. So now this is round 11. That is hysterical. This is why I do not like their instructions. Round 10 is clearly here. Round 10 is clearly here. Because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's because we did the decreasing stitch. Wow, and I didn't even see this the first time I did it. Okay, so we have to have yellow now. All right, so pull this out to where you get enough so you don't lose your stitch here, and then pull out your yellow, you guys, that they gave you in the kit, or if you have your own colored shirt that you want to have. And I'm going to show you how we're going to cast on a chain so we can switch to yellow. And I did this in the first video too, if you want to go back to the first video. Okay, so you want to take your pinky and your thumb and hold the end just like that. Then take your middle finger and your index finger and hold your yarn like this. Then we're going to take the hook, place it perpendicular to the yarn. Then I'm going to do a down, up, and around to create this loop. Okay, then I'm going to take my finger and hold that in place there while I grab some yarn. Okay, then I'm going to take this hook and bring it as close to the end of this yarn as possible. So take your finger, place the yarn right over your finger here. Then take your thumb and pinch the end and pinch it tight. And then we're just going to roll the hook close to the thumbnail like that. And then now what we're going to do, you want to pinch these two pieces together, this one and this one. So pinch this in a loop like that, and then we're going to yarn over and pull it through like that. Now you want to take your thumb and your index, we're just going to hold this right here for now. Take your thumb and your middle finger, pinch that end. I want to push this knot towards my thumb, so just keep pushing it down until that knot gets tighter. And once you get to a point where you can't push it down anymore, then I'm going to pull that end out to make that knot tighter. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to slide the knot up close to the hook, but enough to leave it loose. And then I'm going to slide it off the hook. And we'll leave this here. Now, you're not going to be too happy with me. So, to make a nice clean transition, because I am very, you know, kind of OCD about that, let's remove this marker, you guys. What I'm going to do, I know I have this here. I want to put this hook back into the last stitch we made. We want to undo this. So you can either stick the needle back into that stitch and then pull this out, or you can hold your hook here, gently pull this out till it slowly comes out like that, and then you can put your hook back in. So this time what we're going to do is stick the hook into that 6th stitch, front and back loops, but rather than grab this one, we're going to grab the yellow that we just did, slip it on there, you know, to even make sure that it's kind of nice and loose on there. And then you're going to pull it through both stitches, and this is how we transitioned to yellow. So what I'm going to do, I know we use brown again, but I don't want the difficulty of having to work our way around this, so I'm just going to cut this off like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this, because I don't want this to unravel. So just tie it around here a couple of times. Snug, not too tight, not too loose. Just snug 2 times to secure it. Then we can stuff this extra piece inside the head. So that's gone. And now we can move on to the next round, which is the 11th round, where we increase by 3 stitches. Oops. Increase by 3 stitches. And so the first stitch you increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet, increase, single crochet. So every other. So like we do for every round, we're gonna chain 1, and then we're going to, into the next stitch, do an increase stitch. So just to remind you, it's a single crochet stitch, and then another one in that same stitch, and then the next one will be a single crochet, the next one will be an increase, and so on and so forth until the end of the round. And you guys, I'm so happy that I was able to fill the head before, so we don't have to worry about that later. Alright, I didn't mark the round, but because it's 2 different colors, you can tell which stitch was the last one. So now I'm going to count back 9 stitches. Oh wait, and I missed one. You can tell that it's, you know, where's last one because we switched. But yeah, don't forget to put the marker. That was the first one for this video. I think the last video I forgot it one time. So no more forgetting, knock on wood. All right, count back 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then do a slip stitch. Right, and before I forget, let's take our brown marker this time. We won't need the yellow one anymore for right now. I'm going to put this in to the last stitch we made. I think the phone on this side is just as bad as the other side because I can't even, it's a lose-lose either way. All right. Row 12. We have 9 stitches. We're going to increase by 3. And here's the 12th row. It looks like the first stitch we increase 1, 2 single crochets, and then the 4th one we increase 5, 6. Okay, it seems like every 2, after every 2 single crochet stitches we do the increase. So let's chain 1 and then into the next stitch we'll do the increase. One, 2. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch. One, 2. Then we're going to do an increase stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do a single crochet stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. It's getting a little different holding it from the outside of the head. Okay. Okay. And then we're on to our last 2. So I'm going to remove this marker. 1, 2. So now I'm going to count back 12 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stick this in here. And then we're going to mark this off. slip it through the last stitch we made. Okay. So now we're on to row 13, and it's 12 stitches plus 3. So here's 13. First stitch is increased. 1, 2, 3 single crochet stitches, increase. 1, 2, 3 increasing stitch. 1, 2, 3. So now it's every 3. I'm gonna grab some yarn. So now we're going to chain 1 to get the height, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2, and then we're going to do single crochet stitches in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2, and then we're going to do 3 stitches of single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, increasing stitch. 1, 2, and then the last 3 stitches left, we're going to do a single crochet stitch in each one. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to count back 15 and then do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then I'm going to mark it off. So now for round 14 we have our 15 stitches and we're increasing by 3 again. So at the 14th row here, first one we have an increasing stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4 single stitch, a single crochet stitch, increasing stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, increasing stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4. So every 4. Just getting more yarn. So we're going to chain 1 like we always do. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. And then in the next 4 stitches, we're going to do single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. Then we're going to do another 4 stitches of single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. And then for the last 4, we're going to do single crochet stitches. Two, 4. Okay. And now we're going to count back 18 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, out of frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wow. Did I really miscount here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay. Slip stitch. Then we're going to mark it off. Oh Lord. The struggle is getting real. So now for row 15 we have 18 stitches and we're going to increase by 2. So here's 15. The first stitch is increased 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 single crochet stitches and then an increase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So after every 8. Let me grab some yarn. Okay. So I'm going to chain 1. And I'm going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. Then I want to do 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I'm going to do an increasing stitch. 1, 2. Then the last 8 stitches, I'm going to do a single crochet stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then remove the marker, 8. Okay. So then we should have 20, and then I'll do a slip stitch. Let me try counting. It's so bright. Can't see the stitches very well. It's either too bright or too dark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Slip stitch and then mark off the last stitch. So for rows 16 and 17, we have to do 20 single crochet stitches, so that's pretty straightforward. I like those, as you know. Let me just grab some yarn here. First we have to create our height. Then we have to do 20 single crochet stitches. Remove the marker. Okay. So I'm going to count back 20 and then we're going to do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, Now we're going to do row 17. Just grabbing some yarn here. And chain 1 for the height. Then we're going to do 20. Remove the marker. Count back 20 and then we'll do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Mark it off. Oh, we switched to brown. You guys are gonna love me. Okay. Again, slip this off. We're gonna undo this anyway because we have to transition to the brown. I didn't pay attention to that. But if you have the instructions, you can pay attention better than I can. But this was round 17. We have 3 more rows till we finish, but we have to do it in the brown. So again, like we did before, just hold both ends far apart so that you can lay your hook perpendicular to go down, up, and around. And then you're going to want to make sure you have the least amount of excess at the end there. So I'm just gonna pinch both of these guys in place so that I can do a yarn over and pull through that loop. And before I tighten it, I want to make sure that I can push it as close as I possibly can to that end to minimize that excess piece. I like to not waste yarn if I can. Prevent that. Okay, and once it's as tight as you can tighten it some more by pulling this end out, and then you grab the knot and slide it closer to the hook, just enough to leave it room. And we take this off, don't lose this. Alright, you guys, so we have to undo this because I want this loop to be brown. So again, just slowly pull this out, very slow, so that this just pops off. And then you can put the needle back in to that 20th stitch. Instead of pulling this through, we're going to go ahead and pull this through. You want to make sure that there's enough slack on there to pull through all your loops. And there you have your transition. So now that we're not using yellow anymore, I'm going to cut this off. And then I'm going to tie it around same thing happened in the when we transitioned to yellow. The little excess piece came out. Oh well, we'll just have to hide it later. Okay, so like we did with the brown, just tie this around nice and snug 2 times. 1, 2. Just tuck this yellow piece in there. It'll get covered with the stuffing. So now we can start. Oh, let's mark off our round before we start. Try not to forget anymore. Okay, I'm using it's gonna go in here. I'm using the brown one because we're now oh, I guess I have to use the yellow one. Next round I use the yellow one. Okay, keep that on hand. Alright, so for the next row, 18, we have 20 stitches and we're going to decrease by 2. So in the 20th row, the first stitch we decrease 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 single crochet stitches, and on the 9th stitch we decrease 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So after every 8 stitches, so we're going to chain 1 like we always do, and then we're going to do our decreasing stitch. So stick your needle into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so now we have to do 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next stitch we do in decreasing stitch, and then the last stitches we do 8 single crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3. Remove the marker. 8. So now we're going to count back 18 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Slip stitch, and then we're going to mark it off. Okay, so for row 19, we are doing our 18 stitches minus 6. Oh wait, let me just put this first before I forget. I put the needle through the... Okay, here we go. Alright, so for row 19, it's right here. First stitch, decrease 1, next decrease 1, so it's every other one. Just making sure, yeah, it's every other one. Oh my gosh, I'm hungry, I don't know why. Let me grab some yarn here. So we have 2 rows left, you guys. I think because this video is getting a little long, in part 3 we'll do the ears and the mouth and the assembly. But this one was a big one. We did 2 major body parts of the teddy bear. It's slightly confusing. Okay. So we do our chain like we do with every row. And then the first one, we do a decreasing stitch. 1, wait, let me see if that was the next stitch. Yeah. 1, 2. Then we do a single crochet stitch, and then a decreasing stitch, and then a single crochet stitch, and then a decreasing stitch, and we're going to alternate this till the end of the round. Pull out the marker. Okay. So we're going to count 12 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And we're going to do a slip stitch. Okay. Now this is the last row, you guys. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stuff this, because we are on our last row, and right now we have a good opportunity to fill this before it gets smaller. So I'm going to start with a little bit here. I think that's enough. Just trying to see how squishy everything is. Okay. So we're on our last round, round 20. And we're going to be doing a decreasing stitch for each stitch because we have 12 and you have to minus 6 stitches, so it's pretty much half, and a decreasing stitch pretty much decreases by 1. So let's do this thing. Let's chain 1, and right off the bat decreasing, oh, I forgot that's twice. Got me, guys. Okay, let's do this again. Chain 1, right off the bat decreasing stitch. Okay, this is the last one, so let's pull out the marker. All right. So now we're going to count 6 and do a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see how tiny that would have been if we were to fill it now. So I'm going to leave, again, a decent amount of excess. I don't quite remember where we sew everything together, but we have to fasten off. Tighten it up. And then we'll probably have to seal this, but I'm going to do that next time. So here you guys, we have the head, we have a foot, we have the arm. I'm doing the other pair off camera. If you have not made the leg and the arm yet, you can go back to the first video and get that done. But you guys, we are so close. Next time, we're going to finish the ears, the mouth, and then we're going to assemble, and we're going to have our cute little crafter square bear. So thank you so much for joining me. This is IsmsbyJBM. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos, and join me again for part 3. Oh, did you see that? Part 3. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye.